Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Giri Varadari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Giri Varadari. Yashodanandana Prajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Prajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Kunja Bihari. Jai Vishnu Paramahamsa Parivedikacharya Ashtotara Shatashi Srimad Divine Grace Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Vishnu Paramahamsa Parivedikacharya Ashtotara Shatashi Srimad Divine Grace the Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavarinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Shri Das Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Sikaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shama Kund Radha Kund Gita Govardhan Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Navadvip Dham Ki Jai. Ganga Yamuna Maya Ki Jai. Tulsi Maharani Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Samaveta Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Seventh Canto, Science of God, Chapter 8, the Lord slays the king of the demons. Text 35. Nishamya Lokatraya Mastaka Choram Tam Adi Daityam Harina Hatam Amride Praharsha Vigotkaya Uditanana Uhu Prasuna Vaishar Vavirsu Sura Striyaha Naisham Lokataya Mastakadwaram Tamari daityam harinahatam ride. Praharsha vegot kalitana namuhu. Prasunna varshar vavishu surastriyaha. Naishamya loka trayamastaka dvaram chodam. Tamari daityam harinahatam ride. Praharsha vegot kalitana namuhu. Prasunna varshar vavishu surastriyaha. Nashamya loka trayamastaka dvaram. Tam adi daityam harina hatam ride. Praharsha vegot kalitana namuhu. Prasuna varshar vavrishu surastriyaha. Nishamya, hearing, Lokatraya, of the three worlds, Mastaka Dhradam, the headache, Tam, him, Adi, the original, Daityam, demon, Harina, by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hatam, killed, Mride, in battle, Praharshavega, by an outburst of ecstasy, Utkalita Ananaha, whose faces blossomed, again and again, Prasunnavarshai, with showers of flowers, Vavrisuhu, reigned, Surastriyaha, the wives of the demigods. Translation, Players Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Prabhupada. Hiranyakashipu had been exactly like a fever of meningitis. It's a very severe condition. It affects the brain and the spine and a lot of pain. In the head of the three worlds, so he's a big headache. Thus, when the wives of the demigods and the heavenly planets saw that the great demon had been killed by the personal hands of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Their faces blossomed in great joy. The wives of the demigods again and again showered flowers from heaven upon Lord Nrsingadev like rain. Right, next. At that time, the airplanes of the demigods, who desired to see the activities of the Supreme Lord Narayan, crowded the sky. The demigods began beating drums and kettle drums, and upon hearing them, the angelic woman began to dance, while the chiefs of the Gandharvas sang sweetly. My dear King Yudhishthir, the demigods then approached the Lord. They were headed by Lord Rama, King Indra, and Lord Shiva, and included great saintly persons in the residence of Pitriloka, Siddhaloka, Vidyadharaloka, and the planet of the snakes. The Manus approached, and so did the chiefs of the various other planets. The angelic dancers approached, as did the Gandharvas, the Charnas, the Yakshas, the inhabitants of Kinarloka, the Vetalas. I don't remember reading much about these Vetalas.
No, I was thinking the exact same thing.
Because there's a lot of, there's similar such descriptions throughout the Bhagavatam, Yakshas, Charnas, and so on. But the inhabitants of Kimpurusha Loka and the personal servants of Vishnu like Sunanda and Kumuda, all of them came near the Lord, who glowed with intense light. They individually offered their obeisances and prayers, their hands folded at their heads. Okay, next. Text 40. Lord Brahma prayed, My Lord, you are unlimited, and you possess unending potencies. No one can estimate or calculate your prowess and wonderful influence, for your actions are never polluted by the material energy. Through the material qualities, you very easily create the universe, maintain it, and again annihilate it. Yet you remain the same without deterioration. I therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Purport. The activities of the Lord are always wonderful. His personal servants, Jai and Vijay, were confidential friends, yet they were cursed, and they accepted bodies of demons. Again, in the family of one such demon, Prahlad Maharaj was caused to take birth to exhibit the behavior of an exalted devotee. And then the Lord accepted the body of Nrsingadev to kill that same demon, who by the Lord's own will had taken birth in a demonic family. Therefore, who can understand the Lord's transcendental activities? Not to speak of understanding the transcendental activities of the Lord, no one can understand even the activities of his servants. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya 23:39, it is said, Tanran Vakya Kriya Mudra Vigeha Na Pujaya. No one can understand the activities of the Lord's servants. Therefore, what to speak of the activities of the Lord? Who can understand how Krishna is benefiting the entire world? The Lord is addressed as Duranta Shakti because no one can understand his potencies and how he acts. Oh my God, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karitiva Cholam Bangam Langai Tegrim Yakripadamaham Vande Shri Gurunde Taranam Vancha Kapadribishcha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Pavanebyo Vaishnavebyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jai and Vijay, although they were confidential servants of Vishnu, they became cursed, and cursed to accept the bodies of demons. It's a difficult curse, accept the bodies of demons, the minds of demons, and they were quite, I mean, if we analyze them or study them, their personalities, who did they appear as again? Dantavakra, Shishupal, and Ravana, Kumbhakarna, and Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. So if we study their activities, yeah, they're real demons. I mean, they really cause a lot of problems in all of these different forms. So this was the curse that they had to experience, which is, yeah, I mean, you don't really hear about it much otherwise, someone being cursed to become a demon. Maybe it's there a few other times, but we see that if one is, sometimes one is born in a very good family, and or sometimes one may be a very good person, or a devotee even, but by bad association, they become bad, or they become, like a demon or a demon. And so it doesn't really matter so much the birth. We have the case of Prahlad Maharaj. He was born in such a demonic family, but he was a pure devotee. And then also you have cases like Narakasura. Narakasura had a very good mother and father. Does anyone remember Narakasura's mother and father? Yeah. I guess it's Varaha, or there's Vishnu. So Narakasura, Vishnu was his father, and his mother was Mother Earth. But he became a really bad guy, really demonic person. Or you have cases like Dvavida gorilla. Excuse me, okay. You have cases of him, and he was an associate of Ramchandra. But due to bad association, demonic association, he became this gorilla and this demonic gorilla in Krishna Lila. And of course he was taken care of by Lord Balaram. So in this way there's so many different cases, and you could say in some ways it's hard to tell what will happen. You have cases also of Advaitacharya. Advaitacharya, he had a number of sons, and some of his sons became, non-devotees, accepting so many different other bogus philosophies. So here it's a very, it's a unique pastime that we just that we've been studying. Of course, it's continuing, but you could say the climax of this pastime, namely the killing of Hiranyakashipu, has already taken place, and now the demigods are going to offer so many prayers. Like here today, Lord Brahma is praying. So similarly, Lord Shiva is going to pray. And Indra and inhabitants of Pitri-loka, so many different people are going to be offering their prayers to Lord Nrsingadev. And then we will hear the prayers of Prahlad Maharaj, very famous prayers. But analyzing this particular pastime, it's not, or just analyzing Krishna or trying to understand Krishna or pure devotees, it's not so easy. In other words, it's difficult to understand. Because Krishna is, you could say, the most complex. I mean, as humans, everyone's very complex. They have a lot of things going on in their mind and as persons. Very complex. Of course, some people are more complex than others, but everyone has their own complexities going on. So Krishna is the most, challenging person to understand as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And the devotees are also, specifically pure devotees, are very difficult to understand. And so as a general principle, we have to be careful to claim that we understand somebody else's, who they are, where they're coming from, what are their intentions. Because again, people are very complex. It's difficult to understand. And so many times there's misunderstandings, if not all the time. There's just so much misunderstanding. And it's interesting because these misunderstandings, they tend to turn into gossip. Just a bunch of imagined stories, pretty much. And as Srila Prabhupada told Shrutakirti one time, Srila Prabhupada told Shrutakirti a number of things, but one time it was Shrutakirti Prabhu was one of Srila Prabhupada's personal servants. You have Shrutakirti, Hari Shari, who else were some prominent?
Pushta Krishna.
Yeah, Pushta Krishna. At least in terms of writing, devotees who have written about their time with Srila Prabhupada as like personal servants for prolonged time. Mostly it was Shrutakirti and Hari Shari, right? I mean, of course there was others, but Shrutakirti, he said one time that Srila Prabhupada told him that, it's kind of an intense statement. He said, gossip will kill your Krishna consciousness. It's like, yeah. So we have to be careful with that, as it can be a tendency in the material world, as there are so many tendencies in the material world. So yeah, it's difficult to understand. Now, when we think about understanding the importance of Krishna consciousness, which is very important, to understand the importance of Krishna consciousness, we could see, yeah, that also is very difficult to understand, the importance. Like Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, right? What do you say? Out of so many men? Yeah. I'm going to pass on the mic. We have one mic by Dravida Prabhu, and then... Okay, there's a mic.
Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhaye yatatam api siddhanam kaschan mam veti tattvata.
So can you tell us the...
Out of many thousands of men who strive for perfection, some may achieve it. And of those who have achieved perfection, hardly one knows me in truth. Krishna says.
Yeah, so they're saying there's thousands, and hardly anybody strives for perfection. And for those who do strive for perfection, hardly anyone knows me in truth. So you can see it's not so easy. But of course, by the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Caitanya has come and with his associates. This was Krishna speaking in the Bhagavad Gita. So Lord Caitanya comes and he gives the process of chanting the holy names. And by the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, specifically by remembering him and serving him, but Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says that by remembering Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, very difficult things become easy. So sometimes people think it's very difficult to be Krishna conscious. It's very difficult to practice Krishna consciousness. It's very difficult to, there's so many rules and regulations. There's so many things, do's and do nots. There's so many things we're meant to do and not to do, so people think that's difficult. And devotees think it's difficult. I mean, travel around or don't travel around, just stay in a community or whatever and talk with devotees and they will express their difficulties. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami gives a solution to that. He says, if you want things to be easy, remember Lord Caitanya. Remember his pastimes, remember his activities, remember his instructions. I guess pastimes, activities are the same, but pastimes and instructions, life and teachings. And if you want things to be difficult, then don't remember Lord Caitanya. he says that if one doesn't remember Lord Chaitanya, very easy things become difficult. So therefore, there's a great stress on remembering Lord Chaitanya. But in relation to understanding the importance of Krishna consciousness, yeah, we see it can be seen as difficult. And we could see that our lack of understanding the importance of Krishna consciousness, or our fullness in understanding the importance of Krishna consciousness, is displayed in our how we set our priorities. Everybody has a priority list, at least. Some are more organized than others. Some have it on a piece of paper. Some have it on Google Docs or whatever. Or some people just have it in their mind or in their heart. But everybody has a priority list. Things they want to do, things they want to achieve, places they want to go. Unfortunately, a lot of it's, many times, dreaming. Too many Hollywood movies, too many Disney movies. Affects the mind. There's actually some article, I think the article was something like, I haven't read it, but I noted the title because I thought it was an interesting title. So the title was something like, How Walt Disney Spoiled Our Lives by
Wishful thinking.
Yeah, by wishful thinking. In essence, that's what. So yeah, we have to be realistic. Or as one devotee was mentioning recently, he was saying how when we're young, we have all these dreams. And the dreams are, in essence, I'm going to get enjoyable things and I'm going to bring them close to me. You know, enjoyable places, enjoyable circumstances, people. And then I'm going to get miserable things, I'm going to push them away from me. But as time goes on, we see that it's a mix. I mean, who could do that perfectly? No one could do that perfectly. It's part of life. It's a lot of mix-up, right? People think, whatever, for example, I will get married and I will live happily ever after, right? But then, I mean, sometimes it doesn't. I mean, sometimes, like there was somebody here recently, the couple, right, they're 50 years together. They sponsored the Sunday feast. Of course, there's, right, the time of death. But yeah, I mean, a lot of their dreams don't turn out like that. So yeah, our priority list, we could see our understanding our understanding of the importance of Krishna consciousness based on our priority list. Or for example, there's an emphasis on associating with devotees. So there's an emphasis on so many things, but let's say associating with devotees. Or whatever principle of Krishna consciousness you want to pick. And then the question is, well, how seriously do we take those principles? Or we could see that our faith or our lack of faith is expressed through our activities. People will say, I understand Krishna consciousness, I understand the importance of Krishna consciousness, but then you see their activities. And they're not really connected, even remotely, to Krishna consciousness. They are connected to, for example, them trying to be a very important person in this material world. Like social media, important person, for example, which is a big thing nowadays in the non-devotee world and the devotee world. I mean, hopefully the people who are preaching on those platforms, devotees, they're not, get some fame or something, but it's a common thing nowadays. It's a platform. So, as Srila Prabhupada said, if one's trying to be an important person, either materially or spiritually, they can't really relish the true happiness of Krishna consciousness if they're trying to be like that. So yeah, we see that sometimes that people may claim they understand, but yeah, if they're trying, especially, and you could say, I mean, in whatever way they're trying to be an important person, then we could see that their activities don't line up. So you could say that their understanding is theoretical, at best. So then the question is, okay, I mean, sometimes you also have devotees. I remember somebody was telling me, there's this one devotee and he just really kind of fell off the wagon in so many different ways. And he would tell this other devotee, he said, yeah, he said, I know, I'm in Maya. I admit it, like I'm in complete Maya. And he would say, I just, this is just something I have to go through, and I hope, I come out on the other side, but I do know that I'm in Maya. So at least he was admitting, you could say that's a step. And luckily this devotee, after experiencing what he was experiencing and the suffering that went through it, he came out on the other side and was practicing. So yeah, how do we understand? Because all of us sitting here, and we all accept that it's important to understand the importance of Krishna consciousness, and of course, we know, to the degree we've accepted it, the importance of Krishna consciousness, or understood, or you could say we may have an understanding of that. But there's all different types of higher levels of understanding the importance of something. So how do we understand? Well, first we have to try to at least theoretically understand. Just like in the Bhagavad Gita, Srila Prabhupada points out in the beginning, he says that you may not accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but at least you should theoretically accept. And this will help you understand the Gita, the Bhagavad Gita. So similarly, at least we could, in the beginning, at least we theoretically accept importance. So, and of course you could say many of us, or you could say we're beyond that stage, initiated and so on. That means we should be beyond that stage. But still, again, there's so many levels of understanding. So by purifying our consciousness, it's a very important aspect of understanding things. Traditionally, before one was, you could say, accepted as a prominent figure, or a acharya, or like guru within any lineage. There was many years of training, of education, of purification. Granted, okay, if the person's a nitya siddha, okay, fine, but even them, they show us an example, right? But because by that experience, by that knowledge, by that education, by the purification, then one has a better chance of having the right idea and communicating the right ideas. So there's a great stress, not just on trying to understand, like philosophically, okay, that's important. We want to, right, exercise our mind, nourish our mind, nourish our intelligence. We have so many classes, books, and so on. But simultaneously, there's a emphasis on purification of the heart. And that being the way in which we come closer to understanding things clearly, right? Chaito Darpana Marjanam. What does that mean, Chaito Darpana Marjanam? Chaito Darpana Marjanam is that we cannot see things. It's Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's referring that the mirror of the consciousness is covered by dust, by dirt, by contamination, and therefore one cannot see themselves or the world properly. So, therefore there's a great stress, Chaito Darpana Marjanam, cleanse the heart. And by that cleansing process, they will see themselves properly, they will see the world properly, and then when they communicate Krishna consciousness, they will communicate properly. As Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, that one of the you could say an artist is this Tattva Brahma. It's not being able to see the truth properly, and then if you communicate that, that's not good. So by, of course, reading, by studying, by remembering, especially those with young brains, should try to remember as much as possible, right? Shlokas and young, old, whatever. Should try to remember as much as possible. And of course, Shravanam Kirtanam, hearing and then chanting, it's a very important point. It's a very important aspect. We hear and then we chant. So Srila Prabhupada would sometimes say we hear and then we preach. We try to repeat what we have heard. And this is also a sign, one is understanding the importance of Krishna consciousness, is that they want to distribute it. It's a very good sign. Of course, there's different ways to distribute. There's whatever, direct, indirect, so on. But there's so many different ways. So yeah, to hear the classes, to apply ourselves to the philosophy, but also to apply ourselves to the process of sadhana bhakti, following the rules and regulations, rising early, chanting, and all the different aspects of sadhana bhakti. And by doing this, gradually we will be able to understand. And of course, ultimately, Krishna has to reveal things to us. We can't understand just by our own endeavors and intellectual endeavors or sadhana endeavors, but Krishna has to reveal things to us. Ata Shri Krishna Namadi Nabhaved Graimendriya Sevanmukha Jiva Dao Swameva Spratada. The material blunt senses cannot perceive Krishna, or you could say they cannot understand. Yeah, they can't understand pretty much. They cannot see, they cannot understand. But by the senses becoming purified, the mind, all the senses becoming purified, then it says by engaging the tongue and chanting Hare Krishna, another Krishna Katha, then one becomes purified, and it says that Krishna, he reveals himself. In other words, Krishna will give that revelation to us. So, all right, does anybody? Yes, Bhajanaran Swami.
So, picking up on your one comment about the devotee said, what could I do? I'm in Maya.
Yeah.
And I just got to work through it.
Yeah.
I've had people tell me I'm in a Rahu period. What can I do? You know?
Prabhupada said with one kick I could kick, or Krishna, or he said, Prabhupada said that Krishna with one kick could kick so many Rahus. But
10,000.
Yeah.
You said 10,000 Rahu planets.
10,000.
So, and hey, look, you said he came out the other side okay.
Sometimes they don't, though.
All right, so that you've understood my question. So my question is, well, you know, it's all going to work out. I'm chanting Hare Krishna sooner or later.
Yeah.
Mukunda Dat, you know, 10,000 years, or lifetimes. Okay, so, hey, I'm just on for the ride.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an unfortunate state of mind to be in, because it's really like a state of quitting. And to be a quitter in Krishna consciousness, quitter, right? Quitter? Yeah. To be a quitter in Krishna consciousness is just really, it's unfortunate, because a person really stops their progress. And it doesn't mean they just quit Krishna consciousness. They have to accept something. You have to accept something. So they don't accept the principles of Krishna, they accept the principles of Maya. And then they just, you know, it's all right, whatever. I guess it's going to take a while. It's going to take a few lives. So in the meantime, let me just have a little fun, right? You know, getting a little Maya. But the thing about getting a little Maya, that's the trick, right? Maya's the best trickster, the best con. And that she just says, hey, get a little bit. I don't want a little bit of your time. No, sorry. I just want a little bit of your time. Just give me a little bit of your time. Just a little time, a little attention. I don't want much. Okay, fine. You could serve Krishna and, you know, do your Hare Krishna thing. But I just want a little time, a little energy. Just invest something. Come on. But then it doesn't work like that, because then it just, you know, it builds up. It's like a snowball effect. And you see that, unfortunately, with people. So yeah, we hope that they learn how to get out of that mindset, and therefore the material energy is there and giving so many kicks, right? Like a donkey kicking somebody in the head. So many kicks after kicks after kicks, and then they start to realize, okay, well, maybe I should get more serious. Maybe I shouldn't think like this. Maybe I shouldn't be a quitter. So yeah, it depends on the situation. Yeah, but the consciousness in which one is thinking like that is definitely not good. One should always be enthusiastic, right? Utsaha nishchaya dharya tat tat karma bhavartanat. Enthusiastic, confident, patient in the matter of following the principles, right, of Krishna consciousness. So we cannot hope, we shouldn't hope that, yes, okay, I'll just be in Maya and this is what I have to go through, and then hopefully it works out. Well, what if it doesn't work out? It's a bad policy. You're gambling. Bad policy. Speculating. What if it works out? It's not Krishna consciousness now, but it could be later. Right? I'm doing so many things. Yeah, I'll just become a famous social media star and I'll get, you know, millions and millions of followers. It's not Krishna conscious now. I have to do things that aren't Krishna conscious, but it could be later. It's a problem. And we shouldn't think that it's going to work out like, for example, there are cases, I mean, you have the Bhagavatam 10th, I think it's, yeah, I'm not sure what canto it is. Yeah, I think it's the 10th canto, maybe the 9th canto, but it's talking, yeah, 10th. Anyways, it's talking about Sobara Muni. He was a great yogi, offended Garuda, and he was meditating under the water, interesting place to meditate. And he found he saw some fish copulating. This was after he offended Garuda. Then he just got really agitated, like sexually agitated. And he just like came out of the river and he wanted to marry so many princesses. Of course, they were freaked out because he was in the water for so long. You can imagine how he looked. And then by his mystic power, he understood, okay, I'm not looking so good. So by his mystic power, he transformed into a handsome man. And he married all these princesses, quite a few. I forgot how many, I think 100. And he was just enjoying his life with his princesses, sense gratification, forgot about his austerity, forgot about his meditation. But interesting enough, in that chapter, it says that he eventually realized his mistakes, and he turned to Krishna consciousness. And it said he went back to Godhead. And and the wives also. Now, of course, we could look at that and say, okay, or I'll just be like Sarbara Muni's program. I'll offend the devotees, and I'll get material desires. I'll engage in them, and then, go back to God. But the thing is, it's, you can't think like that. Like Prabhupada would say about a Jamil, right? Oh, well, he just, cannot think that, yes, I'll just be like a Jamil, and at the end I'll just say Narayan. It's not, Krishna sees. You can't. Like Prabhupada, he told, when he initiated Bhakti Sundar Goswami, he initiated with the name Jagat Chakshur, means eye of the universe. So then he told him that, yes, Krishna, he sees everything. You cannot hide from Krishna. Prabhupada was telling him that at initiation. And then Bhakti Sundar Goswami, he was thinking, Prabhupada knows, because he said he used to go in the back and steal the Maha sweets, and he would hide, and like take them. So you cannot hide from Krishna. So, but it is, anyways. Does anybody have any other?
I would add that also, just to finish up on that topic. Okay. Ultimately came around the bend, and it all worked out. But how much suffering was there?
Yeah.
So I'm going to beat you with a stick for 60 years. But I'll stop beating you at the end, and you'll, well, what about that?
Yeah.
So it's not, Bharat Maharaj, it all worked out, but he had to live as a deer.
Yeah.
So you're discounting all that suffering that you could avoid.
Yeah. So no need to prolong the suffering.
It does suck.
Yeah. Is somebody else had their... Okay, Veer Chandra?
Thank you for the class. You mentioned that the process chanting and Krishna Katha should be initiated Chatadarpan. And my question is, what kind of this chanting and hearing should be to this Chatadarpan, which purify our heart and change our heart?
Well, it says that there's the offensive chanting, which means committing the 10 offenses. There's 10 offenses to the chanting. We all know what those are. We recite them. We've said them many times. So that's the offensive stage. But then there's the next stage. It's the clearance stage. But the clearance stage is described as when one is trying to get free from the offenses. It means they're actively trying, which is a very important stage. Because if one's just chanting offensively, then even after knowing the offenses, so one should try to give them up. And in Chaitanya Charitamrita, which I've quoted a number of times recently, but I thought I'm going to quote it again. But Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur makes a point that in that section, and Srila Prabhupada's quoting Bhakti Siddhanta, that if one doesn't try to give up the offenses while chanting the holy names, then that will lead one to become attached to sense gratification. Very interesting. So that's very important. And then, of course, there's the pure stage, which is free from the offenses. But so yeah, one should try to come to the pure stage where they're free from the offenses. And of course, there's different things that are blocking that. There's distraction, there's sleep, there's distraction, there's just indifference to it. So So our acharyas, they say that how to get free from that, then we associate closely with people who are free from those, or more free than us, and then that will inspire us to get free. And so there's a stress on, hearing about the holy name. There's so many prayers to the holy name, about the holy name, glorifying. So if we meditate on the importance, the prayers, if we try to understand the process, then that will definitely help in relation to cleansing the heart. But it's a simple process ultimately. I mean, like Prabhupada said one time, because someone was asking, how should we hear the holy name? And Prabhupada said, well, just as I am speaking and you are listening, so you just listen. You just listen to the holy name while you're chanting. Whereas I don't know if they're quoting Prabhupada saying it, but I believe it, so we have to look into that. But it's a good principle that just try to hear yourself chanting sincerely. Just kind of listen. So. Well, yeah, some devotees, they mention that reading Krishna book in the evening or hearing some, pastimes of Krishna, that could help. Of course, we don't artificially, force our minds to think of the pastimes of Krishna, but if something naturally is there, then. But whatever the case is, hearing about Krishna's pastimes is always recommended. We want to hear as much as possible. Yes, Dujamani?
Thank you for a nice lecture, Balaram Prabhu. There's this understanding that if you want to become a big and important person, we're mentioning about social media, then you're gonna have to face big and important problems also.
Yeah. You have to face big problems. If you want to be a big person, you have to face big problems. Yes.
And small problems, and medium-sized problems.
Yeah.
All kinds of problems. The question I had is, you mentioned the statement of Srila Prabhupada to Shrutikirti Prabhu about gossip. How should we understand gossip? And maybe you can speak a little bit more about that to help us understand.
Well, somebody has a dictionary you want to look up? Gossip. I mean, of course, we all know the general, but it's always good to get a English definition. Or Shastra, right? The dictionary.
Is that gossip or gossip?
Gossip. Gossip.
Idle talk or rumor, especially about the personal or private affairs of others. The endless gossip about Hollywood stars. That's the main definition.
Yeah. So to unnecessarily discuss people, just like prajalpa, or like the example was given of Hollywood stars. I mean, that's just you go on the internet, you go on the TV, you go on the whatever newspaper equivalents, blah blah blah. They're always talking about, oh, did you hear this person? He did this, and then he's ditched his wife, and now he's in rehab, and now this and that. It's just like a lot of talk about. So that's there to unnecessarily talk about people or situations or things. Yeah, mostly people. So the idea is that we want to instead develop attraction to preaching, just like Govardhan, right? Govardhan has attraction to preaching. Don't mind, but he was out in Balboa Park yesterday, and he stopped these three ladies. They came to the Krishna Lounge, South Bay, Chula Vista last night. So one was from Texas, Minnesota, and where else? Florida. originally they were from Africa, India, and Nepal. Kind of anyway, interesting group. So whatever, but they came, and I was asking them how they came, and they said, "Oh yeah, we met Govardhan. They remembered your name." I think it helped. She was Indian, but they were saying that Govardhan was talking with them for a good amount of time. Apparently, they were interested. They got books. They were saying Govardhan was giving us truth bombs. That's the word they were used. And they said they were just sitting there, listening to him. So they came and they chanted and they heard the talk and they got prasadam and got more books. So like that, one could better use their energy in trying to bring people or whatever, like that. So, all right. Also, it's Dvijamani Prabhu's birthday today. So if everybody give him blessings, good wishes to continue his preaching and Krishna consciousness and other activities. And it's a Kadashi, so it's a bit of a tough breakfast, on a birthday breakfast. But apparently tomorrow they're going to have other items that are more birthday.
It might not be so tough, and it's ready.
Okay.
Might be what?
She said it might not be so tough. Anyways, they're making something tomorrow. I don't know, maybe they made something today too. But yes.
One final comment about Sabri Muni, just that you admitted. He had 50 wives.
Oh, 50. Okay.
But he had 100 children by each one.
Oh, really?
So finally, I think it finally got to him. The family got a little bit too big. So. But you're right. He took them all back to Godhead. So.
Yeah. All right. So he didn't have 100 wives. Okay, he had 50. So everybody can note that. But then he had 100 children. So per wife. Yeah. So. All right. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.